Yesterday, I received a vision that has been very helpful to come back to my higher self perspective and to find that peace. And so that is what I've been guided to share today. So, what happened was I was doing my activation and I had a thought that came up. It was an issue that I had had with another human. And in the vision, I saw this human go from full size all the way down to just like this small. And then I was standing there above and looking down at this tiny little human. And so, what this vision was to show me was that I was making it very big in my mind, over dramatizing it when it really was not an issue. It was showing me that what I had created to be an issue in my mind, a problem, was really not a problem, because our higher self doesn't see anything as a problem, doesn't see anything as an issue, sees it all for our benefit. And so it's coming back to that perspective. It's not thinking that I'm so big and so much better than this other person. No, we're all equal, we're all one, but it's a trick or a tool, we could say, to help us come back to our higher self perspective of being at peace with everyone and everything, knowing that everything is helping us, is benefiting us, that it is also source energy. And so it's helping to come back to these truths, because when we make some big issue in our mind, we start to get stressed out. We may go into fight or flight, our nervous system going off, and then it's more takes more time to get back to that centered, grounded space where we can receive clarity, reminders, and insights. So this is just helping us get back to our center faster. So, and we can use this vision, this tool, with anything that our human self perceives as an issue. We can just, whenever we notice this issue, we can shrink it down to be like very small at our feet and look down and be like, oh wow, it's not an issue. Because it's only our ego self, our program self, that can have issues with anyone or anything. Because our higher self loves everyone unconditionally and accepts everyone, appreciates everyone. And so it's only the ego that can have issues and create conflict and all of that kind of stuff. And so with anything like that, we can shrink it down so small and realize, oh wow, looking at this from my higher self perspective, I realize it's not an issue, and that it's not worth creating conflict about, because truly nothing is asking to be created conflict about. Conflict, again, is only because of beliefs and programming and the ego creating this conflict. Our higher self has never once had conflict with anyone or anything. And so it's coming back to these truths. And this vision helps us do that by making what we perceived as an issue or a problem or a conflict, making it very small so we can realize, oh my gosh, it was really nothing. And I was making this all big in my mind when it was really nothing. And then it can come the question of, why am I making this so big in my mind? Why am I making a big deal out of this? And then we'll be able to uproot any beliefs and programs that are feeding this. And it could be thought patterns, but it's going to also involve at least one belief, maybe more, as to why we are creating this issue. We may be not wanting to feel a certain feeling, which is what a lot of this is about. We may believe that this could be a threat or that we could be hurt, when in reality, we cannot really be hurt. Our true self cannot be hurt. And when we listen to our guidance, we will not be put ourselves in places where we will be physically hurt either. But how are we going to listen to our guidance is if we are centered and open and clear to receive. If we're stressed out and making something fearful and dramatic in our mind, we're not going to be open to the guidance that's coming to us at all times. And so yeah, this has come up to share, and I'm just unpacking it with you in real time here. But what I noticed when it first came up is I went from my nervous system starting to get tense and constricted to completely relaxed. And that's how I knew I went from a state of resistance to a state of allowing. And so when we are in a state of allowing, we are open to all of the information, the reminders, the guidance, and we're allowing that in. And from there, we will be able to navigate our reality in the very best way possible for us. And if we decide to stay in that stress state, well, we can learn from that too. But it's just not going to be as enjoyable as if we come back to our center and we listen to our guidance and we navigate it in the most optimal way for us. And so, yeah, I will leave you with that today. And of course, I'd love to mention my books, and in them they're filled with analogies, visions, personal examples, realizations, and I keep the stuff in the books. I don't share that on YouTube. So I'm just sharing on YouTube what's coming to me now every day, that I'm having these new revelations, these new visions. And so, yeah, that is how I've been doing it. You can find the books on Amazon, and they are also available in ebook format if you prefer that over the paperback. But with that, I will send you much love and blessings on your day. And yeah, have a good one. See you.